a routine that you have on back-to-backs to lessen the load of playing on back-to-back nights?
Nothing too crazy. Just take care of your body, hydrate, and just try to relax and get ready to go.
What's the challenge with the Red Wings tonight?
They got skill. They play hard. They got a really good penalty kill, and they're probably gonna be playing free, playing hard. So we got to be ready to match that.
What's the comfort level in the room with where your guys' game is at collectively?
I think it's heading in the right direction. I think we're defending really hard, and we're learning how to close out games better and play with a lead. So I think those are crucial things for us heading down the stretch here.
What's the chance to play in the playoffs mean to you? Right? You've got the one game, but you have a real run.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words. It's just feel really fortunate to be on a team like this and to be able to contribute any way I can. I think at the end of the day, when you're a kid, that's it's the favorite time is watching playoff hockey, and that's why we play the game at the end of the day, is a chance to win it all.
Hey Sam, I know you guys don't look ahead, but you're playing Tampa now. It's clinched. Do you start to think about that at all in the next couple of weeks, or can you wait until April 14th to really start thinking about Tampa Bay? Just yourself personally.
I think for us, just our process, we know what we need to work on as a team, and I think us just focusing on that and continue to get better in those areas are probably the most important things we can do.
Did you watch much of the Leafs Lightning series last year?
I watched as much as I could. I was in Finland for Worlds, so the time zone made it a little tough, but the highlights and everything, I knew it was a really intense series. Every game was tight, and I know it's going to be a battle.
Why do you think Brody and McCabe seems to be working so well?
I think they see the game pretty similarly. They have similar strengths. They defend so well. They're so good with the puck, breaking pucks out, and seems like they've just had instant chemistry. It's really nice when they're on the ice together.
TJ was saying that Jake kind of has more offensive upside than he thought. What does he bring from that kind of perspective?
Yeah, personally, I've seen his game grow a lot this year compared to last year. It's he was always really good, steady defensively. It seems like he's taken that step, making those extra plays with the puck, maybe hanging on to it an extra half second, letting the play open up, and looks really comfortable doing it.
And what's the challenge on the back-to-back in terms of the wear and tear on the body?
Yeah, it's hard on the body, right? Like it's travel after a game, so not much rest, but you have to do your best and try to rest as much as possible. So it's same for everybody. Like every team has back-to-back games, so we have to be ready for today.
You come home after a game in Ottawa last night. Are you able to can you get to sleep right away, or do you have to wind down a bit once you get home, Dave?
Oh, I don't have problem sleep after a game, so it's not hard for me. So I just came home and went to the bed and slept in 20 minutes.
What's the challenge with the Red Wings tonight?
Yeah, they are a good team. They have good players, so we need to play same like yesterday. I think we played really good yesterday. Good team win, and hopefully we can do it today.
What's your sense of how the team feels about the way the team is playing these days compared to the players?
Yeah, I think we are trying to be better every game, right? It's getting close to the playoffs, so we are trying to play maybe a little bit playoff style, right? So playing hard, no mistakes, and be hard to play against. So
you've been playing with different wingers all year. How has that worked for you?
It's not a big deal for me. I'm trying to play my game, and it doesn't matter who's playing with me. So I don't have problem to play with anybody. So that's not a big deal for me.
What stands out to you about Jake McCabe and the impact he's made?
Yeah, I think he made big impact for our team. He's great defenseman, and I think he's very good in D zone, and he can influence the O zone too, on the rush, and he can skate with the puck. So he's a very good player.
What sort of chemistry have you seen between him and TJ?
Yeah, they are both great players. They can play together very good. So we are happy. he came here and he can play with us.
What do you think it's going to be like to face the Lightning again in the playoffs? That matchup now, it's official.
Yeah, it will be a tough series like last year. So hopefully this year it will be better for us and we can make the first round.
How much do you reflect on that? How much does that motivate you? What happened last year?
I don't know. I think we focusing like on this year, so we are not too much think about what happened last year. For sure, we can learn from that, but we are focusing on this year. So.
How have you felt about your game this season?
Yeah, I feel good. Trying to be better every game, and hopefully it's like yeah.
Everybody getting a little extra rest today, I see.
Optional for some of the media.
I see that.
We just saw Nick Abergees has been called up. What's happening there? So.
Yeah, so there's a number of things happening today. First of all, McCabe and Giordano will get the night off here tonight. Timmins will go in on defense for us. And then on forward, Mitch Marner's not going to play today. He's got some bumps and bruises that he's been going through as somebody who's played as much as he has would. So he's not going to play tonight. And so Abergees and Simmons will go in, which will put us to the 12 and 6 tonight.
With Mitch, not him specifically, but you anticipate this sort of thing over the next 10 days or 12 days that maybe this will happen for a guy or two of his stature?
Well, obviously we've been doing that a little bit on defense, and rotating guys through. So we'll look at different things as they come. Obviously, in this case, it's a back-to-back, and as I said, Mitch is, he's played a lot, and there's some wear and tear that comes with that. We do have another back-to-back upcoming. So we'll look at these different things as we go. Obviously, roster implications and salary cap and all these things come into play a little bit in terms of managing that. That's all over my head, but we'll look at different situations as they present themselves. Obviously, our schedule is going to get quite busy here leading up to the playoffs, so we'll look at that. But we still want to make sure that we continue to build our game no matter who's in or out. So that's really where my focus is at.
Does this give you a chance to kind of see what Austin looks like without Mitch or William? Like, are you curious to explore that a little bit?
I mean, sure, that's something. I am a little curious to that. It's, that's kind of where my eye was going to yesterday in the game as well, and I wanted to change some things up there. Obviously, I've got great confidence that Austin and Mitch work, and I've got great confidence that Austin, Mitch, and Yarncroc work really well, and it has worked really well. Obviously, Bunting, Matthews, and Marner has worked really well. So there's a number of things there. So we can look at some different things. Obviously, we're anticipating O'Reilly's arrival back in the lineup here in the near future. So there's some things there for us to look at. We've had great consistency in our lineup. Despite even it being 11 and 7 for the last stretch, if you're really paying attention to it and looking at it, there's been a lot of consistency in how we've rolled the lines and how we've maintained the D pairs. So we've seen a lot within that, and we think we have some time here to look at some different things. And like I said, obviously O'Reilly and Achari not being in right now, I think it's just makes sense to look at some different things. And today, because of the lineup we're putting on the ice, there's going to be a lot of differences there.
Luxury of depth, though, right? Because if you're A, you don't have it, or B, you're not in this spot in the standings. Mitch is probably playing tonight, this sort of thing. But even as you mentioned, you have Nolan Ryan already out, and still afford to.
Yeah, we've got tremendous depth, and we are in a good spot. So in many cases, we've earned the opportunity to make decisions appropriately and look at big picture and these sort of things and manage players accordingly. Like I said, though, I think we still do want to. We still want to build our game, want to make sure our mindset's right. We don't want to let up in any way. Like I talked to the guys this morning, there's going to be 20 guys wearing a Leafs uniform here tonight in our building, and the standard and the expectations, none of that changes. And so that's the challenge. And, when you are electing to give some guys rest, is to stay in the right frame of mind, and that's what's going to be on me as a coach and us and our group as players to stay engaged in that, because whether it's building our game and feeling good about our game, or taking care of our, our home ice situation. Those are all things for us to remain engaged here for the schedule that's left to go here.
Why was tonight a good night to get McCabe a rest?
We've been looking for that for some time. For him, he's a guy that, if you look at all the other defensemen, I believe he's the only one that hasn't sat. And that's been a good stretch for him, and we've been wanting to give him some time off. But because we've been both wanting to look at he and Brody and give that more consistency, and then just also how it affected taking him out, we've just elected to keep him going. And back-to-back here again tonight, and he's, like I said, he has done a tremendous job for us since being here. He's taken on a lot of minutes and done very well. I do think he's a guy, though, that we're going to lean on a lot, and if we have a chance to give him a breath, I think it's important to do so.
Is there anything you can point to for why the shots and goals haven't been there as much from John 5-on-5 the last month?
I think we've looked at different things in there. I think in a lot of ways, John, he's a guy who generates a lot of his shots and his scoring chances come in the middle of the ice, come in the slot, come in around the net. Anytime you're a player like that, you're relying on your wingers and you're relying on the other players to make a lot of that happen. So I correlated a lot to the fact that, for me, his game hasn't been to the same level. So when you've got those two things happening, I think it's natural that there's not going to be as many pucks available in those spaces. So that's something for us to continue to look at. But I think the thing that I like about John's game and where it's at is, despite the fact that he wants to score and be more effective at 5-on-5 in terms of offensive production, he's committed to winning and helping our team win games and continuing to be really good and responsible defensively. And that's what I liked about our team game last night. Not a whole lot of offense available for us. Look at a lot of the numbers. There's just not a whole lot there offensively for us in the game. But we defended really strong, and then once we had enough offense to win, whether it's at a 1-0 lead, a 2-0 lead, or certainly at a 3-0 lead, we didn't then change, or then guys who maybe didn't get many shots or chances start cheating and opening up the game against a very dangerous Ottawa team in transition. Just stay committed to what was important in that moment, and that's really most importantly what we need from John and anyone else, especially when we have enough offense to win the game already. Let's not try to look outside or care about anything else other than what's important to help our team win that game.
Back-to-backs are a challenge for every team across the league, and I know you sort of don't really want to use that as an excuse for losses, but how have you guys approached the back-to-backs this year? Have you done anything differently? Because you seem to be weathering them pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think we've done anything differently. We've tried to, like when I first got hired here and was in this position, back-to-backs were a big issue, and thus you're talking about it more and you're trying to come up with different strategies and things that can maybe help you through it. To me, we haven't really talked about it much. We just treat it like any other game as best we can. Obviously, the thing that I point to the most is our strength in goal and our depth in goal. I think there's no real letdown there from one game to the next. And, we got a shutout last night from Ilya Samsonov, and you're going to come back with an accomplished veteran like Matt Murray here tonight. That in itself gives you a chance. I think you could probably take it even further, however, though, when we look at, Wall and Chalgren have played in these situations too, and we found a way. So I think between the goaltending and also just the growth of our team and our players, they understand it's just another game. And whether in some cases we're coming off a win and we gotta do it again. In other cases we've come off a loss, and now you gotta pick yourself up and get better the next day. So we've dealt with both situations really well. We haven't had, if I looked at it, not a whole lot of being on the road and come home on these back-to-backs, so that's a little bit different. Yet the challenge remains the same for us to just go out and look at it as any other night.
That was easy. Where's his game at facing compared to a year ago when he first got here?
Yeah, they're really happy with his progress down there. Very intelligent player that makes plays. Very consistent with his approach and his play. He's a guy that, when you talk to them, that has been pretty steady all the way through, no real peaks and no huge dips. So, at a time like this, we were looking for a guy, and really it's been a few different call-ups now where he's been a guy that probably was warranted a recall, but for different reasons you go with other guys. And talked yesterday about Zahorna, wanting to get him in here and try to give him some opportunity to get acclimated to our program. He's still adjusting with the Marlies as it is, but certainly to have some time here. So Brazizi's taking a little bit more time to actually get up, but I'm sure he'll be ready to go here today. He's a guy that this time last season was playing for us pretty consistently and had done a nice job.
I know that the focus is on what gets have to do over the last 7 games or whatever, but now that you know it is Tampa, is there anyone on the staff that has a little more might need homework to do over the next 2 weeks, or does that happen starting on the 14th?
No, I mean, we're getting ahead. We've been working towards some of those things behind the scenes, not unlike we do in the regular season when you're always looking 2, 3, 4 games ahead, and you've got guys on staff that are working behind the scenes to help us move along towards those preparations. So it'd be no different here, whether that's our direct staff or whether it's it's management or our R&D staff. There's a lot of stuff happening there, as I'm sure there is all the way around the league. I mean, there would be teams that maybe don't know their opponent yet, and they're preparing for more than one. That's just the reality of it, because while you do have a little bit of a window there between the season ending and the playoffs starting, there's so much work that gets done that everybody in the league would be looking ahead towards that. But our job as coaches is to keep the group focused and stay focused ourselves on the day-to-day here, because at the end of it, your game, and in this case, our game, our team, that's what's most important.
Mitch is a guy who likes to play a lot. I'm just wondering what that conversation is about sitting down first night. Is that a tough one? Or?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch wants to play every game. I think Mitch sees the big picture and recognizes it, knows how he feels, knows that he's played a lot. And as it'll work out today, or as it'll work out for him, he'll get today off, he'll get tomorrow off, he'll come back in on Tuesday. So that's 2 days in a row that he'll be able to get. So anything that he might be nursing in terms of bumps and bruises or wear and tear or whatever you might want to call it, he has a chance to push through that, and I think that will be helpful, and he's recognized that. So despite the fact that he wants to play, I think he and anyone else on our team know what we're really working towards here and what the big picture in terms of what's most important. Thanks.
Thanks, Sheldon.